Hey guys, so you've seen the title. This is going to be a quarantine book haul of 200 plus books. I'm not going to do them all in one video. One, because that would be obscenely long, and then two, I don't have a lot of the books, like probably 3/4 of the books. They're still on the way, but I have a good chunk to make a video of. I'm a mood reader, and before I decide what to read, I decide on whether or not I want to read a standalone or a series, and then from there I'll choose something in the genre that I want. The genres that I read from are thrillers, a bit of nonfiction, historical fiction, fantasy, both young adult and adult, and did I say thrillers? Yeah, I did. Those are the genres that I read from. I'm gonna go through the books, not any specific order. The system that I'm gonna follow when I show you guys these books is I'll show you the book, I'll put the Goodreads rating on the screen, just because for me personally that's something that I look at before I make a purchase. I know that the reviews are purely subjective. Every review is purely subjective, even by people that have like a specific system. It depends on what they think is important or what is important for them to see in a story. But it's just one way to help me curb my purchases so that I'm not just buying anything and everything that catches my fancy. Even if a book is rated like a 3.2, it could be your all-time favorite, and it could be a book that is absolutely trashed by a lot of people. So it's very subjective. But I'll include it because it is one thing to look at when you are purchasing a book. So the first books that I'm going to look at are the fantasy books that are parts of a series, because the majority of my books are series, so that'll be the easiest thing to just knock out first. So we have Cinder by Marissa Meyer. This is part of the Lunar Chronicles. I only have the first one because I heard conflicting reviews about the rest of the series, but I heard great things about this one. So I got this. I love retellings of famous stories, looking at a story from a different angle, a story that we've known for decades. So the story of this is that Cinderella is a cyborg, and the prince comes to her stall in the marketplace and asks her to repair something, and it's a matter of national security. That's all I know. So this is the first book in that series. Let me know down below if the rest of the series are actually worth getting or not, because I'm really conflicted about that. And then we have The Hazelwood as well as The Night Country. I got these a while back, and I don't really remember if these are companion novels or like a series, but I'm not gonna lie, the first thing that attracted me to these books are the covers. The covers are absolutely beautiful. When I first saw the covers online, I didn't really look at it into detail. I saw a castle. I love anything historical, like I said. There's a dagger, there's appears to be a raven, but then randomly at the bottom here there's like a car. So I have no idea where this is going. But the blurb that got me was the one by the New York Times book review that says The Hazelwood starts out strange and just gets stranger in the best way possible. It's a captivating debut. I like stories that are strange, that are dark, that are unexpected. So I'm hoping that these are just that. And then you'll notice over here, I can't really take them out. Everything's on it. When I bought this bookcase for these new books, I had to play Tetris like no other to get all these books to fit. The next thing that I have is these books by Carrie Maniscalco. I have 2 of them. I'm waiting for the other 2 to get to me. I have Stalking Jack the Ripper, Capturing the Devil. I'm waiting for Escaping Houdini, as well as I think it's Slaying Prince Dracula or something along those lines. I've heard a lot of great things about this, so I'm excited to read that. Another book that is part of a series is The False Prince. So this is the first book in the Ascendants trilogy. I don't know much about this, but anything that is historical, anything that has magic, an interesting world, anything like that is going to interest me and intrigue me. And the part of the synopsis here, or the blurb, says 4 boys, 1 treacherous plan, an entire kingdom to fool. I go into these books a bit blind by choice. I don't want to know too much when I go into these books, so therefore you're not going to really hear too much of a detailed synopsis from me unless I read the book. Then I kind of will know how to explain it. I try as much as I can not to buy like the entire series. A lot of people I know try to do that, but sometimes it's a book that you've heard so many positive things about by like 99.9% of the people out there, then I will maybe get the entire series. But other than that, I try to stick to just one. So a lot of the books that I have, you're gonna notice it's just the first book in a series. When I was first buying things during quarantine, I was buying the entire series, but then as I was making more and more purchases, it wasn't feasible to do that. So I told myself, buy the first one. If you like it, then you can continue. And the time that it'll take for the other books of the series to get to me, I have other books that I can choose from. So first book in the series, intrigued to get to this. And then we have J. Kristoff's Nevernights. I'm so intrigued by this because it's dark. It's something about assassins. I think the main character's family is murdered, and so she becomes an assassin, or she, there's vengeance that's happening. I'm super, super excited to get to this. I heard that the writing style is really, really interesting and really captivating. It's comedic at certain points, but it's dark as well. So I'm really excited to get to this. I only bought the first book. I really want to get through this so that I can buy the second and the third. Brandon Sanderson's Skyward. Now, I had never read anything by Brandon Sanderson. This is going to be one of my first reads for him, so Skyward. Also heard a lot of positive things about this. I think it has to do with space. Apart from that, I have no idea. It says claim the stars. So we shall. Another Brandon Sanderson, since I'm already on his books. Another Brandon Sanderson series that I got book one. I got book one in the Stormlight Archive series. And then book one is divided into 2 parts. So we have part 1 over here and part 2 over here. I heard a lot of positive things about this. Really excited to get into it. Patrick Rothfuss's series. I have the first book, The Name of the Wind. Excited to get to that. And then I have The Slow Regard of Silent Things. I just got this on a whim. And then when I went to to Goodreads to find out what this was about, I think it's one of those like 1.5 books, a novella that is a companion to a series. So I got that. Haven't read it yet. Gotta get to that. We have some big mamas over here. We have Cinda Williams Chima's Flamecaster. So this is part of the Shattered Realms series. So book number 1. Have no idea what it's about. Heard positive things. Can't wait to get to it. I'm going to say that for every book that I show you. And then we have Sabah Tahir's Ember in the Ashes. Also part of series. I think I only got the first book in this series as well. Oh, I lied. I have the second book in the Ember and Ashes series by Sabah Tahir. So the first one is Ember in the Ashes. This is A Torch Against the Night. So this is book number 2. And then we have Leigh Bardugo's King of Scars. First book in the series. I'd always seen a friend of mine reading this. Don't really know what it's about. I don't remember what it's about. And then we have same author, Leigh Bardugo, Ninth House. This is something I think about a student that goes to Yale and manages like the magic society or clubs that's there. Something along those lines. Don't know anything else about it. But it has magic, so I'm intrigued. Sarah J. Maas's Throne of Glass series. I believe this is book number 1. Crown of Midnight is book number 2. I only got these because it was in my local bookstore, so it was something that I could get quickly. And if I read this, and it's not a huge book, so I knew I would get through it very quickly and then if I loved it, I would really want to read the second one. So got these 2. Then we have Tommy Adeyemi's Children of Blood and Bone. I love the cover. There's something super intriguing and fascinating about the cover. I feel like it's going to be dark. I hope it is. So that's a purchase that I made. Maggie Stiefvater's The Raven Boys. So this is book number 1 of the Raven cycle. Heard a lot of good things about this. Know nothing else about it. And then the next 3 books are part of a series. So I found these in the local bookstore, and I just went ahead and got all 3. I heard great things about them. So we have The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. We have The Winter of the Witch. And then we have The Girl in the Tower. So this is book number 1, definitely, but I think this is 2 and 3. Could be wrong. It could be switched. But heard a lot of, I didn't hear anything negative about these. So I'm excited to get to it. Sorcery of Thrones by Margaret Rogerson. I believe this is part of a series. Yeah. Has sorcery Cover. Sword. Yes. Crown's Game is another book that is part of a series by Evelyn Skye. I bought this right after, like, coming off the Night Circus train. I love the idea of magicians competing. So this is what this includes. It takes place in Russia. Apart from reading things that are also historical fiction, I like things that are alternate histories and give you like an alternate universe. Like the world could have gone differently had this happened. So this includes that. It has magic. That was enough for me. I enjoyed the Night Circus, so I was glad to pick this up. And then we have The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi. This is also part of a series. I don't remember what this is about, but it takes place in the 1800s. It takes place in Paris as well. There's mystery, decadence, and dangerous desires. There you go. And then we have Ash Princess by Laura Sebastian. Don't know what it's about. Seems like, you know, there's a land without a queen. There's a princess that must rise. Listen, I'm fine. Let me just consult Goodreads for a very brief minute. Yep, part of a trilogy. So this is the first book, Sky in the Deep. I'm excited to get to this. So, I mean, there's an axe, there's a princess, braids, we got things going on. Goodreads says, this story is about somebody who is raised to be a warrior. 17-year-old Elin fights alongside her Aska clansmen in an ancient rivalry against the Riki clan. Her life is brutal but simple. Fight and survive. There's betrayal. There's fighting. There's clansmen. Got it. Amanda Hawking's Between the Blade and the Heart. So this is book 1 in the Valkyrie series. I briefly remember what this is about. Somebody who was raised to, I think, bring immortals to justice or something along those lines. I think she figures out that she's been living a lie, or she's been told a lie about what it is that she does. And it's about that discovery. I could be wrong, but I think that's what I remember. Yeah, I think so. Well, this is book number 1 in the series. We have All the Stars and Teeth right here. Oh, come on. So, All the Stars and Teeth are also... All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace is also part of a series. I like things that have to do with mermaids and sirens, so I think this has that. If I can go by the tentacles that are on the cover. There's a ship. So there's a princess, a pirate, and a stowaway, and a mermaid, and they have to work together to do something. I like books that have like a ragtag team of people. So this is a series that I have called the Bargainer series. So this is book 1. I'm waiting for the second book to get to me, but I have Rhapsodic Dark Harmony, and then this is a novella that gives you the backstory of one of the characters. I read this so I can give you a bit of a synopsis that's coherent, but it's about a girl who is a siren who has been making deals with somebody called the Bargainer. And when you make a deal with the Bargainer, there's something, it's a favor, so there's something that you have to give him in return, and he can come whenever he wants and call on that favor. She's made hundreds of deals and has asked for hundreds of favors from the Bargainer, and he hasn't called on her to sort of pay him back. But after several years of not hearing from him, he shows up one day and asks for her to start repaying. So it's dark. I like books that are dark. I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's like a wing. This is a wing. But I like it. I read the first one. I'm waiting for the second one to get to me. I have the third one, and I'm trying really hard, like, not to look at the back of the third one because I don't want to spoil it for myself. But this is a series that I want to get to. Book that I've heard so much about, The Diviners. New York, 1920s, magic, ghosts. That's all I need to know. So I have book number 1 and book number 2. I'm gonna get through them, and then I'm gonna order book number 3. I, of course, have the Court of Thorns and Roses series because I'm basic. But I have all 4 books. They're at my bookstore. I thought might as well just get them, so I grabbed all of them, and I heard a lot of positive things about it, so I thought I'm gonna like it, and I actually really do. I've gone through the first and the second, so I just need to continue on to the third and the fourth to complete the series. The Caraval series by Stephanie Garber. I got the first and the second. I haven't ordered the third one yet, waiting to get through these two. But this is also a series that I've heard a lot of positive things about, which is why I got more than one book in the series. I think this is part of a series. So Bridget Kemmerer's A Curse So Dark and Lonely. So this is also a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. The girl has either cerebral palsy or like MS. I don't remember, and it's not written on the back, I think. Yeah, so this is a retelling. You're gonna notice I have a couple of retellings of Beauty and the Beast because I really like that story. Watching the movie as a kid was where I started in love of like libraries and books upon books and things like that. So this is also a part of a series by Erica Johansson, I'm guessing. I have no idea what this is about, but it seems like it's historical. It has fantastical elements. If not magic, then it has creatures or something along those lines. So this is something that I really want to get to. This is book number 1 in the series. The Shadow Queen. This is also part of a series, part of the Ravenspire series, if I'm not mistaken, by C.J. Redwine. I bought the first book off of Amazon because my local bookstore had the rest of the books in this series apart from the first one. So got this, not worried about getting the rest because thankfully they are in my local bookstore. And then we have 3 books in the series. We have Cruel Prince, Queen of Nothing, as well as The Wicked King. I don't remember which is second and which is the third, but this is a series that I also heard a lot of great things about. Don't know what it's about. So you have 2 sisters that were stolen away to a high court of fairy. If it has fairies, I'm there. So I don't know what this is about, but that intrigues me. I'm really excited to start this. I know this is part of a series. I don't know how many books are in the series, but it just seems like an interesting concept. I think it's going to be a strange read, and I'm looking forward to that. Dark Skies. I think this is part of a series. I'm going to double check, and I'll put down below if I'm wrong. But, I mean, this kind of encompasses everything that I love. This looks like what could be a shield. There's a sword, there's a necklace, there's a ring, there's a book. There's something fantastical about this. And Sarah J. Maas has a blurb on it that says, "Everything I look for in a fantasy novel." From right there, sis. Okay, we have Mary Lou's The Young Elites. I have the first and second. Third is on the way. I also got every book in this series because I heard a lot of great things about this. So I don't know if this has magic or if it's just about... There's the Dagger Society. There's a wolf here. I don't know. But it seems like it's some type of fantastical element that I'm going to like. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is dark as well. So that's kind of why I got it. And then we have Serpent and Dove. I heard a lot of mixed reviews about this, but I like stories that have enemies to lovers as a trope. And this is... it's about a witch who marries a witch hunter or a witch killer. So I mean, you can't get any more of an enemy than that. So I have no idea what else is going on, but I like that trope, so I'll usually get books that have that trope. The other book that I have is by Zoraida Cordova. It's called Incendiary. This also had magic in it. There's a castle, there's fire, there's something going on here, some exorcism situation going on, so I'm really excited to read that as well. I heard nice things about the Black Brujas series by this author. It's different witches, and they're Latinas, so they're different witches in New York, like in Brooklyn or something like that. And the different books in this series follow, I think, different witches from the Brujas. I could be wrong. Then we have Witchwood and Furthermore by Tahra Mafi. I think the ratings on these weren't that high, but there's something about this that intrigued me. I mean, the covers are absolutely beautiful. They include different elements of things that I'm interested in. So I just bit the bullet and got these. The next books that I have, I've also gotten both. I heard a lot of great things about this, and I love, like I said, retellings. And this is, is this the one that's a loose loosely based off of 1001 Nights. Is it? I forgot. But anyways, so I have The Rose and the Dagger, and then The Wrath and the Dawn. It's about a girl who... Okay, so yeah, Shahrazad. There you go. So I think the Khalifa, or the Khalif of Khurasan, marries... He's a merciless killer of wives, and she ends up being married to him, and she has to figure out a way to keep herself alive. So yeah, retelling of 1001 Nights. I love this one because it's reflective. This one isn't, but it's beautiful. V.E. Schwab's second book in her Vicious series. I think it's called Vicious. I don't know, but this is Vengeful. Book number 1 is Vicious. This one came before the first one, so I have to wait until the first one comes so that I can read it. I'm really, really intrigued. I like, if I'm not mistaken, this is a story about anti-heroes, and I like that. I like characters that are morally gray, because it's just realistic. Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. Heard a lot of great things about this, so kind of why I got it. And then we have Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty. So this is book number 2 in a series. I pre-ordered book number 3, and I'm still waiting for book number 1 to get to me. It's slowly crawling across the channel. But I heard a lot of great things in terms of the world building. If I'm not mistaken, this the setting is either India or Egypt. I think it's Egypt. So I'm really excited to get to this. But I think it also like involves jinn and whatnot, so it's a bit of a darker read. So book number 1 in the Iron King series, in the Iron Fae series, by Julie Kagawa, I think that's her name. And Muse of Nightmares, again, because I've heard a lot of positive things about this, I just went ahead and got both of the books in the series. The Radiance book by Grace Draven. By Grace Draven. I believe this is part of a series as well. If it's not, I'll write something down below. But this is something where 2 races come together, and you can kind of tell. You're looking kind of gray, but this is a story about 2 races coming together. Apart from that, I don't really know what's going on, but there's like a hostile kingdom, and they have to marry each other in order to bring peace to their different peoples. And then I have Kirsten White's series, the 2 books I think in this duology. So we have And I Darken, Now I Rise. I don't really remember, but the blurbs say dark, twisty fantasy. Like it. So these are the 2 books. I think this is a duology. And then controversial book, Sarah J. Maas's Crescent City. So this is one of those books where the reviews are just split in half. People loved it, people hated it. So I'm really eager to form my own opinion on this. So Sarah J. Maas's Crescent City. I think this is part of a series. I could be wrong, but like I said, I'll correct myself if I'm wrong. The Remnant Chronicles, so Kiss of Deception, The Beauty of Darkness, and The Heart of Betrayal. Sorry, this is the order. Also heard a lot of great things about this. I think it either includes, it's something dark. It either includes enemies to lovers or something along those lines. It's a slow burn thriller or something like that. So I heard a lot of positive things, so I just went ahead and got all 3, especially since I found them. I found 2 of them in our local bookstore. The 3rd one I ordered, so that's something I want to get into. So those are the books that are part of a series that are fantasy. I didn't designate whether it was young adult or adult, sorry, but it was just easier to go through them as series. The second video that I'm going to make is standalones that are going to be divided according to genre. So I'll put the fantasy together and the thriller together as well as the other standalones that I have, and just like I said, divide them according to genre. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm going to do wrap-ups for the books that I just showed you that I have, and I think I kind of want to make it a spoiler-free review if possible. If not, then I'll always put a disclaimer. But leave me comments below of what it is that you want, what kind of book videos you're interested in. If you would want reading vlogs, just let me know and I'll try to make the video. Thanks guys.